Hi, I'm Gail here in our hunting grounds in Liberty, Missouri, talking to you about a new bow sight on the market called the Eliminator Pro. The Eliminator Pro is designed and marketed through Extreme Outdoor Products. And let me tell you, my experience with Extreme Outdoor Products has been absolutely the finest customer experience that I've ever had. How did I stumble upon the vertical pin arrangement? Well, I was, like many of us, at the end of each year looking at what I could improve on my bow for next year, and decided that I wanted to go to a vertical pin sight to hopefully increase my vision through the scope. And I Googled vertical pin, and up came the Eliminator Pro. I called the company and talked to Mitchell Schmitz, who's the owner and president of the company, and he took all the time in the world to explain the sight, explain the concept behind the sight, and how it would work and improve my accuracy. So I went ahead and ordered the bow, ordered the sight, couldn't wait to get it tried and put on my bow. It was extremely easy to mount. And once I got it on, it was just unbelievable, the improvement that I made in my accuracy and my consistency. As you can tell, this is a rear sight concept. There's nothing new about the rear sight concept, but there is one thing new about this sight. It works, and it delivers on what it says. There are 2 or 3 different configurations. First of all, there's the vertical pin configuration, and then there's the more traditional horizontal pin configuration. That also will be a little easier if you're used to transitioning from that type of an arrangement. Both of these sights come in numerous types of camo color and an anodized black, and they're very flexible in the fact that you only need one sight. You can use the same sight for right-hand shooting or left-hand shooting simply by moving the boxes from one side to the other and the pins from the right to the left, and you flip things over. It works for right and left-hand shooting as well. The other thing, when you just see the sight out front, it looks kind of big and you think it was heavy, but because of construction material, it only weighs 7.2 ounces and is extremely balanced well on your bow once you get it mounted up, and I'll show you that. So what makes this sight so special? Well, what makes this sight so special, and the key to the accuracy improvement, is this rear sight pin. As you can see, the rear sight pin has a Y in it, and at the bottom of the Y is a dot, which I'll call the yoke. And what this pin sight arrangement forces you to do is to force you, every time you draw the bow back, to a common anchor point. And that common anchor is this lowest pin sight anchored into the bottom of the yoke, each and every time. So what this will do is, as you can tell, that's a very, very small hole. And to line that small hole yoke up with the bottom pin, there is no room for any air. After just a few arrows, you're going to find yourself drawing back and looking immediately down the scope and finding that bottom pin color in the yoke of the rear sight, immediately locking in your consistent anchor. One of the things that I like to do is, when I get something new, is try and come up with a rhythm. And we've come up with something just called the draw, lock, aim, and release, DLAR. Each time I'm going to draw the bow back. It'll automatically lock when I get my bow set right where my anchor is, rear sight, the front pin. I'll aim with the top pins and the markers on the yards, and then I'll release the arrow. You know, before I tried this sight, I never would have thought about shooting an arrow much past 40 yards trying to shoot a deer. But after just a few arrows and practicing with this sight, the consistency and the accuracy out to 60 yards or more, I would be willing to release an arrow now 60 or 70 yards with the highest amount of confidence that I would be able to put a deer down from that distance with this sight. So just to summarize, here's what I see as the main advantages of the Eliminator Pro. First of all, like I said, this sight shoots without a peep. So you immediately, once the peep is off, will see an increase in 3 to 5 feet per second arrow speed. The other thing, and the most important thing to me, is with this box arrangement and no peep to look through, you're going to have a much improved overall vision, especially in low light conditions near dusk and dawn. Also with this sight, it has the flexibility of those hunters who are right-handed or left-handed and opposite eye dominant. So in other words, if I'm a right-handed shooter and I'm going to pull my bow back with my right hand, I can shoot this bow with my right eye dominant, or I can shoot it with my left eye dominant, just simply by adjusting the box, and we'll show how to tune that up later. So as far as I know, no other bow sight on the market today has that type of flexibility. You're also going to see how easy this is to set up and tune. With that easy setup and tune, you're going to see an increased range. Like I said, not just range, but accurate range. I know you'll see a lot of other sights out on YouTube that show using the Eliminator Pro out to 100, 150 yards. I want you to know this is not a gimmick type of sight. This is a hunter's dream that is going to lock you in to consistent accuracy from the rear sight pin arrangement, and accuracy not only at 40 yards but even further, even to a point where you can hit spot on pump station accuracy. And lastly, for me, more than anything and more importantly, is the fact that when you buy this sight, I guarantee that the experience that you'll have with Mitchell Schmitz and the EOP staff will be second to none. And when you do that, you're going to have high confidence in the product that you've just purchased, and that high confidence is going to spell into a more accurate and more enjoyable hunting experience with the sight. That's guaranteed. So let's talk about vision. I told you the reason I wanted to try a more vertical pin sight arrangement was to increase my overall vision with the sight. I spent 26 years as a pilot in the Air Force, and many of those hours were spent looking through the HUD, the heads-up display, where between my eyes, the HUD on the windscreen, and the target, I was provided a wide field of vision and range. I was also provided every piece of detail that I needed so that I could acquire the target and get the kill. You know, this might sound strange, but this sight on a bow reminded me very much of what a HUD looks like. With this sight mounted on my bow, I have a wide variety of range of field of vision. I have the ability to focus. I have every piece of information that I need between the rear sight, the pins, and the target to make the kill. In the airplane, we used to call the HUD an optimum performance tool. One thing that I certainly call this sight on my bow is the optimum performance tool. Another thing that you're going to see physiologically, and I know this is getting into probably more than most hunters want to get to, but physiologically your eye does not want to be restricted. In fact, when you put a peep up to your eye and start to restrict the vision, you tense up a little bit. You may not notice that tensing, but you do. And that tensing can only show in the accuracy of shooting a bow. It will definitely affect the accuracy of your shot. So by taking the peep off of your bow, you're going to have an opportunity to where you're not going to restrict that eyesight. You're going to have the sight out there, you're going to have your eye open with a full range of vision. You're going to zoom right down through the rear sight, to the front sight, to the target. That improvement alone makes this sight unbelievable compared to any other sight that I've ever tried. Now, as far as the increased vision, another thing to talk about a little more science, during the dusk and dawn parts of the day, your eye is as vulnerable as it can get. An eye needs as much light coming in as it possibly can so that it can focus out on the horizon. Same as if you're out here shooting in dusk or dawn. That's why it's such a struggle to see through a sight at that time of the day. Well, one of the advantages of not having your peep on is that you'll easily be able to see right out into the field of vision with full focus ability because nothing is restricting your eyesight. With this sight alone, I think you can easily add up to 2 hours of hunting time each day. So I know that might be a little hard to believe, but this is what I want you to try and do as an example. If you take your finger and make about the size of a dime, just as if you're imitating a peep. Now, if you put that out in front of you like this, you can see all across your field of vision. But as you bring that closer and closer and you close your eyes to your dominant eye, that field of vision is cut back, cut back, cut back, cut back to now where, and try this at home, you're seeing just a little bit of vision. Pull that away, and that's what it's like shooting through the Eliminator Pro. All of that restricted vision is gone when the peep's off of your bow. So Eliminator Pro, a bow sight that will increase your accuracy, your field of vision, and your focus, and extend your hunting day. You know, it's a lot of fun busting candy at 40 yards. It's also expensive busting expensive arrows at 40 yards, but it's impressive. Try the Eliminator Pro. I think you'll like it.